It is Money Monday, and for millions of Americans, rising food costs and inflation have made putting dinner on the table a financial challenge. And our next guest is here to help ease the burden. She's a New York Times bestselling author, and her book, Good and Cheap, focuses on how to make resourceful recipes on just $4 a day?
That is impressive. Now she's here with her top tips on how to save when heading to the supermarket. Welcome to you, Leanne Brown. Thank you for being with us. And we all know more people are eating at home, and we know it costs, I believe it's now 6.4%. It's up just in the last 12 months in terms of grocery prices. So how can your book help folks save money putting dinner on the table?
Seriously. So I wrote Good and Cheap for a food stamps budget or a SNAP budget, which is, as you said, is about $4 a day. It was all about making the most out of what you have, stocking the pantry with really flexible, long-lasting ingredients that you can use a ton of different ways. And now I have a new book called Good Enough, which is more about how sometimes we actually need to do less and be compassionate with ourselves in the kitchen, because life can be really, really hard. And that when it comes down to it, it's just getting food into yourself that matters, not performing or beating yourselves up for not doing enough.
All right, so one of the tips let's start with is in particular talking about protein, but you're saying plan out a week's worth of this.
Yes, exactly. With the cost of meat going up so much, and meat is always expensive too, I really suggest going away from thinking of meat as, or protein as, the center of the plate, but actually rather thinking of it as a flavoring. Let's take sausage, for example. Sausage is sort of higher fat. It's a little cheaper, and it's packed with flavor. It has all kinds of spices in it. So you could bring it home, cook it up with some onions and other vegetables, or some beans and some greens, and in there, and you have this beautiful stew. It's really hearty, it's really delicious, and you've only used maybe 1 or 2 sausages, and you can use the rest of the sausages for something else. So kind of making the most out of 1 or 2 large proteins.
I know we're all trying to get more fruits and veggies into our lives. Those prices have gone up 5%. In fact, I was at the grocery store and strawberries, $8, fresh strawberries, but you have a really good tip about buying frozen.
Seriously. So I think everyone thinks of fresh produce as sort of the best, and canned and frozen are inferior, but they're really different uses, and I always say, if you have frozen spinach that's already chopped in the freezer and you pull that out, it's ready to go, whereas it's going to be, that's always going to be better than the 8 days old spinach that you just found at the back of the crisper that you've accidentally, let go too much. So it can really help with planning and sort of give you that leeway. And right now, when not much is in season, it's just wonderful. It can also give you little shortcuts. Like I love using cauliflower that's already chopped into florets. You just toss it on the sheet pan with some spices and get it straight into the oven in no time.
You say a part of this key here is you can reduce waste, and you said we need to be as versatile as we can.
Absolutely. I think that really is the key. And so thinking about having just a sort of simple few ingredients is the best way to move forward. So having some, rice, pasta, oats. I love oats in the morning. I have this killer recipe for peanut butter and jelly bars. You want to have eggs and beans if you're not too sick of them, sort of at this point in the pandemic. I love to use plain yogurt rather than like a flavored vanilla one, because then you can use it to cook as well. In terms of fat, I often suggest using butter as well, actually, if you're sort of going to choose one fat to use to cook with sort of for the week. Butter is really versatile. Of course, you can bake with it. You can also cook with it on high heat and low heat, and it adds a lot of flavor. So you don't need to use as much, and it will last for a long time. And then it's also citrus season right now. So that means like lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, pomelos, all those things can be a great way to add flavor and freshness and sort of a sense of sunshine in the winter. I love to use both the juice and the zest. So the rind, the peel has so much flavor. It has the oil of the lemon or the lime in it. And my friends actually make fun of me because I put lemon zest in absolutely everything. And I think it adds so much flavor for very little cost.
Oh, those friends are just jealous because you can do anything in the kitchen. Right? That's all that is. Leanne, we will have you back, I guess, was it peanut butter and jelly bars?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a cooking segment with you next time. Leanne, but thank you so much for all of this and being here today. And folks, you can pick up Good and Cheap in Leanne's latest release, Good Enough, a cookbook, wherever books are sold. Leanne, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, hey.
Hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.